All right, today we're going to dive into a pretty powerful and honestly kind of unsettling idea, cognitive diabetes. The basic theory is that our modern world of information is doing the exact same thing to our brains that a diet of pure sugar does to our bodies. So, to get our heads around this, let's start with a simple comparison. You eat an apple. Your body knows exactly what to do with it. The fiber, the structure, it all triggers signals in your brain that say, hey, we're good, you're full. But high fructose corn syrup, that stuff is basically engineered to sneak past those signals, leaving you craving more and more, even though it's bad for you. Same number of calories, but a totally different result for your body. And that is the core idea right there. Our brains are dealing with the exact same issue when it comes to information. We're constantly consuming content that's been designed to bypass our natural I've had enough signals, leaving us always hungry for that next scroll, that next notification, that next little hit. So let's talk about this strange diagnosis. The argument here is that what we're all feeling isn't just simple distraction, it's something much deeper, a kind of society-wide inability to process reality itself. And that's what's being called cognitive diabetes. The root cause of all this is a concept from biology called evolutionary mismatch. I mean, think about it. Our brains, the hardware we're running, haven't had a real update in like 50,000 years. They were built for a world where information was scarce and threats were immediate. But now, we live in a world of infinite information, and a lot of it is engineered to exploit those ancient survival instincts. And hey, this isn't some fringe idea. Really smart people like Max Fisher, Johann Hari, and Yuval Noah Harari, they've all been pointing to different parts of the same massive problem. Our modern technology is now almost perfectly designed to exploit our ancient biology. Okay, so what's the usual response we hear to all this? Well, it usually falls into what we can call the discipline trap. You know the drill. It's the voice that says, just try harder, have more willpower, just put your phone down. But looking at it that way is, well, it's dangerously incomplete. You see, blaming an individual for their collapsing attention span today completely ignores the toxic environment they're stuck in. It's just like blaming someone for getting sick when their only source of food is a store filled with sugary junk. It totally misses the bigger picture. This visual really just lays it all out, doesn't it? The sheer imbalance of this fight. On one side, there's you, with your one brain running on 50,000-year-old software. And on the other side, you've got thousands of engineers, AI systems running millions of tests a day, all with one goal, figuring out how to grab and hold on to your attention. Let's be real, this was never a fair fight. So here's a really crucial point. The problem isn't just that there are bad ideas out there. The real danger is in the delivery systems themselves. Things like social media feeds, the infinite scroll, these are built to inject information straight into your brain, completely bypassing the critical thinking and the quiet reflection that make up your cognitive immune system. But of course, there's always that one person, right? The one who says, oh, come on, people have always panicked about new technology. They freaked out about the printing press, the radio. What's so different now? And you know what? That's a fair question. The answer, though, is that today's tech is different in kind, not just in degree. First big difference, personalization at scale. Old media was a broadcast, one message sent out to millions of people. Algorithms, they narrowcast. They build a completely unique reality just for you, learning and then exploiting your personal hopes, your fears, your psychological triggers. Just think about that for a second. We're not even arguing about the same version of reality anymore. The second difference is real-time adaptation. Every single time you tap or swipe or even just pause on a video, you are training the algorithm. It learns what keeps you hooked, and it adjusts its strategy in milliseconds. The system is literally learning how to manipulate you faster than you can learn how to resist it. And the third difference? Zero friction. It used to take effort to get information. You had to buy a newspaper or walk to the library. That little bit of effort, that friction, it created natural pauses for you to think and reflect. Now, the feed never ends, and the next piece of content is always just one little flick of your thumb away. Okay, so if this is the reality, what in the world do we do about it? We know we can't just rely on willpower. We need an actual strategy. And a fantastic place to start is to do an audit of your information diet, just like you would with food. So take a second and think about your own information habits and be honest. Over the last day or so, what was your ratio? How much of it was nutrient-dense stuff that you actually went looking for? How much was empty calories, things that felt urgent but didn't matter? And how much was just junk, stuff you just passively scrolled through that actually left you feeling worse? The answer, if we're being honest with ourselves, is probably not great. So here are 4 really practical steps you can take. First, just track what you're consuming. No judgment, just write it down. Second, start to notice the triggers. What makes you reach for the junk food? Is it boredom, anxiety? Third, design one small point of friction for yourself. Maybe just move that one addictive app off your home screen. And fourth, and this is crucial, protect time for the good stuff. Schedule it. And this right here, this is the real gut punch. If you look at your schedule for the week and you honestly cannot find one single hour to set aside for deep reading or focused thinking or learning something new, well, that's not just a scheduling problem. That is the diagnosis. So all of this leads to a really powerful shift in how we think about this. To get our focus back, we have to stop treating this like it's some kind of personal moral failing and start treating it for what it actually is, an engineering problem. See, when we frame it as a moral problem, we get stuck. We blame ourselves, we try these digital detoxes that never last, and we feel like failures. But when you reframe it as an engineering problem, everything changes. Your focus shifts to designing a better environment for yourself, creating smarter strategies, and demanding better systems. That's where the real solutions are. And that's really the big idea to walk away with. You can't upgrade your brain. That 50,000-year-old hardware is what you've got to work with. But what you absolutely can do is redesign the environment that your brain operates in. You know, the people who seem to have it all together in this crazy world, they don't necessarily have more discipline. They're just better engineers of their own attention. So, I'll just leave you with this final, really provocative question to chew on. Think about the beliefs you hold most strongly. Which of those did you arrive at after long, careful thought and research? And which ones, just maybe, were installed in your head piece by an algorithm that doesn't care about truth and only cares about keeping your eyes glued to the screen? And how would you even begin to tell the difference?